According to President Trump's executive order, the U.S. Treasury has about 6 months to phase out the paper checks it uses for things like tax refunds and the roughly 500,000 Social Security checks it mails out monthly. All federal agencies will also have to switch to electronic payments by September 30th. The order puts the responsibility on government agencies to educate people on their electronic payment options and says exceptions will be made in certain cases related to emergency payments. The transition could also cut down on financial crime. While checks account for less than 9% of all payments, they're used in 66% of payment fraud.
You see, paper checks have been part of an American life for over a century. But that's about to change because on March 25th, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order called Modernizing Payments to and from American bank accounts. You see, this order sets a firm date when paper checks will almost completely disappear from federal payments. So, what is this order really about? Let's break it down. This executive order requires the federal government to stop using paper checks for almost all payments and collections. Starting September 30th, 2025, the government will no longer issue paper checks for Social Security, tax refunds, veterans benefits, and other payments. It will also stop accepting paper checks for most payments sent to federal agencies like taxes and fees, unless the law specifically allows it. Instead, everything is going to move to electronic payments like direct deposits, prepaid debit cards, or other secure digital options. So the question is, why the change? Why are we changing to digital, right? Why the push for this change now? See, the White House gave 3 reasons: cost savings. Digital payments cost a fraction of what paper checks do, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions each year. 2, fraud prevention. Paper checks are more likely to be stolen, forged, and lost. And 3, speed and convenience. Electronic payments are fast, often arriving in one day, while paper checks can take weeks. See, this part of a bigger push is to modernize our government and how government money flows in and out of the system. Are there any exceptions? It's a lot of people that actually are not digitally savvy, and they're mainly elderly people, don't have access to these things. But now there are a few exceptions. You see, you got people that if you live in areas with no access to banking or electronic payments, you may still qualify for paper checks. Or like an emergency situation like natural disasters may temporarily allow paper payments. Certain national security and law enforcement transactions also get, special handling. But these exceptions are rare and will be tightly controlled. So, how can you prepare? Make sure you're signed up for direct deposit with your bank or credit union. If you don't have an account, apply for a Direct Express debit card. Update your tax filing information to include your banking details. Because after September 30th, 2025, paper checks for federal government will be a thing of the past for almost everyone. So that's what the executive order Modernizing Payments to and from American bank accounts is all about. The bottom line is that the paper check era is ending and electronic payments are the new standard. So, do you think this is a smart move or is it forcing people into digital payments too quickly? So, drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you stay updated on how these changes may affect you. I'm Barb, and this is Barb Reacts. See you in the next video. Bye bye.